The National Academical Sports Committee believes the only way to curb age cheats is to organize age-grade competitions within the school system. A chairman of the body, Yemi Idowu, said schools have a major role in grooming talents for the future, since age-grade competitions are not about winning. And in its efforts to bring vibrance to school sports across the country, NASCOM reaffirmed its support for the Nigeria School Sports Federation and Youth Sports Federation of Nigeria. Well, 2.8 million naira is at stake for the second edition of the Chika Chukwumerije Sports Foundation International Taekwondo Open. According to a breakdown of the cash reward, gold medalists in 8 events will get 150,000 naira each. 8 silver medalists will cart home 100,000 naira, while 16 bronze medalists will get 50,000 naira each for their efforts. Meanwhile, more than 340 athletes have confirmed participation, with 36 competitors from 7 African countries. Among the foreign athletes confirmed for the tournament are current African champions Ismail Koulibaly of Mali and 2012 all-Francophone champion Abdul Razak Alfaga of Niger Republic. Onto the foreign scene. Protests by supporters of ousted Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi ended fatal today after they clashed with the country's police. 34 people lost their lives in the process. A local media said more than 200 members of the Muslim Brotherhood were arrested in the capital, with 26 deaths reported. The supporters were out in several cities marking the 40th anniversary of the 1973 Arab-Israeli War. While hundreds of people gathered in Tahrir Square to celebrate amidst jets and Apache helicopters flying overhead and portraits of Defense Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Morsi supporters made their way in, calling him a murderer. Libya has asked the U.S. government to explain why it embarked on a raid of its territory, one of 2 by U.S. commandos in Africa, on Saturday. Prime Minister Ali Zaidan said he had asked for clarification and stressed that Libya was keen on prosecuting any Libyan citizen inside Libya. The raid captured al-Qaeda leader Anas al-Libi, whom the U.S. says is currently lawfully detained outside of Libya. The other raid was in southern Somalia but failed to capture its target. International monitors in Syria say work has begun on destruction of the country's chemical weapons. The destruction of the stockpile being carried out by the Syrians is not expected to be straightforward, as some sites in combat zones. The operation is being overseen by a team from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. And the main news again tonight: the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has suspended the operational license of Dana Airlines and said the purpose is to enable it to conduct operational auditing. The Nigerian Armed Forces has said it is collaborating with colleagues in Africa and Europe in tackling crude oil theft, while indigenes of Zangan Ataka in Kaduna State have urged the federal government to help in curbing attacks by Fulani gunmen, while a UN team has confirmed the commencement of chemical weapons destruction in Syria. Well, that's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. But before we go, and as we go, we leave you with some pictures from the state of Osun, southwest Nigeria, where the state governor, Rauf Aregbesola, dressed in school uniform, assumed the role of a teacher at the Salvation Army Middle School in Osogbo, the state capital.
What's your age? What are your ages? What's your age? How old are you?
30 years old.
30 years old. How old are you?
I'm 14.
14, okay. So, this man, this young boy, must have done some same things. At age, you can only encourage your fathers, your parents, to discharge their responsibility as an electorate. Make sure you do it very well, because you cannot say you don't know what is happening. Since you told me yourself that you realize the distinction between the board that was in your other school and the board that is here now, you should be able to know who provided this new board and who was unable to provide this new board. So when you, I don't want to campaign here. I'm just telling you that you can only encourage your parents to be responsible electorate. As it means ability to vote, because you are in grade 9, which means effectively, what's your age? What are your ages? What's your age? How old are you?
30 years old.
30 years old. Okay, good. How old are you?
I'm 14.
14, okay. So, this man, this young boy,
Hello and welcome. This is Politics Today on Channels Television. My name is Sheung Okinbale. Thank you for joining us at this time. Tonight, we'll be looking at the national conference. Well, you know that when President Goodluck Jonathan set up that committee led by Senator Okunromi, a lot of Nigerians asked, another committee again? Well, this time around, considering the amount of committees that we have seen set up since the past 2 years, a lot of people may be right to ask that kind of questions. I'm not sure we have had a louder call on any national issue than the call for a national conference, where sometimes the word sovereign has always been added to that clamor. Well, the committee is expected to carry out its task just in 1 month. We may be expecting a memorandum as an outcome of their meeting. We expect that they should be inaugurated probably tomorrow. Well, the national conferences are not new to the Nigerian people. We have seen it happen in 1949, in 1957, in London, in Lagos. Also, there are a lot of national conferences that went by in the history of our constitution. We've seen it in 1963, in 1966 also, and so on and so forth. The story of our constitutional development cannot be complete without these conferences. In fact, nearly all the leaders who have been at the helm of affairs of this country, many critics have said that these conferences and constitution drafting committees have been to suit the desires of some of the self-serving leaders. If we again take a look at or make a quick comparison with the United States, for which we are always comparing ourselves with, for almost 200 years, there has not been only one constitutional conference. And in the UK, if you find out, I do not think there has been any national conference. But Nigeria, we've had about 10 of them. One major question that is on the minds of some critics is what will be the purpose